Hello and welcome back to another live video. To start off the day here at the Damage Report on the Young Turks Network, I'm John Iadarola. Welcome back to Super Thursday, as it's been called by the person who could end up being the nominee, possibly. So we've got a big show planned. I'll give you all the details on that. But I want to just start off with the exact opposite of everything we're going to be talking about on the show. What is at best gossip, but about Meghan McCain and The View, which is always fun. A show that I don't watch and yet have to pay attention to because we as a society have decided that it, along with Fox and Friends, is the most important thing. It is the pinnacle of news shows. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your highs. So, a source who knows Abby Huntsman and is an insider to The View is saying that she, when she left, Abby Huntsman, who had formerly apparently been a friend to Meghan McCain, thank you, Amanda, is talking to people now and saying that she's sort of warned the remaining cast members other than Meghan McCain to watch out for Meghan McCain. And in particular, giving them some tips on some of the tactics that she uses to try to dominate the show, but also the meta-narrative in the media about the show. So apparently she said that you need to watch out for McCain, but also her husband, Ben Dominic, who's been in the news a lot recently, seems like a real stand-up guy. The source says Abby told the ladies that Meghan loves playing the victim because she not only feels that it garners her sympathy as a hardcore conservative, but it deflects from people figuring out that she's been the one manipulating everyone by leaking stories on the show all along. So some of the news that gets out, and honestly, I get the tactic. I get from Meghan McCain's point of view how she would use her husband as sort of a source for spreading gossip about the show while providing an air of plausible deniability to Meghan McCain. And I get the defensive tactic of presenting herself constantly as a victim. I mean, we can watch any couple of minutes of the show. The Rock of TIT, thank you. If I start getting called The Rock, I don't have a problem with that. I'm a fan. I get the tactic. I don't necessarily think that it's working the way it's designed to. So when I think about stories from sort of inside of The View that have been leaked, I can't necessarily think of any that have made Meghan McCain look good or that make the others look bad. The frustrations that I, as an outsider, have had with, say, Whoopi Goldberg are things that she said on the show, not news that I found out behind the scenes. Thank you, Meg. That's very nice of you. Yeah, we'll be talking about Warren. Don't worry about that. So I get the strategy, but I just don't necessarily think that it's working. Meghan McCain is apparently quite powerful on the show for some reason that I can't understand, but I don't think it's because a lot of people feel sympathetic towards her in the audience or, you know, in the country at large. But I will say, think about those two things. Constantly presenting herself as a victim while leaking stories about the people around her, even ostensibly about her allies. Who does that remind you of? I mean, that is Donald Trump to a T, not only as president, but literally throughout his life. Like, he complains about leaks and that sort of thing, about gossip and disloyalty, while he is actively leaking information and has no sense of loyalty to anyone other than himself. And she's like sort of effectively a never Trumper, so I think it's fairly awesome that she's carved out a Trumpian position for herself inside of The View. Now let's see. The source goes on to say that McCain has resumed her her toxic backstage behavior following Huntsman leaving, and they also say, if you notice from watching since Abby's departure, Joy, Sunny, and Whoopi are cutting Meghan no breaks. They all know what time it is now. Yeah, so I guess maybe. I don't really watch the show, but it does seem like they are more openly antagonistic towards her. The thing is, how does she have any power there? That is what I'm trying to understand. In the dynamic of the show, she's been around for a few years, but not nearly as long as some of the others. The audience doesn't appear to like her anywhere near to the extent that they do Joy or Whoopi or whatever, or Sunny too. I would say some of the guests. Where does her power come from? And I'm not just asking it as a rhetorical question. For those of you who might watch the show more often than me, I would love to know what your theories are for why she's considered so important or influential there. As a complete outsider, I know that I'm biased and ignorant to this, but I feel like she could be fairly easily replaced by almost any other young female conservative who would probably do a better job of actually representing conservative thought and values. Now, maybe The View doesn't actually want that. Maybe they like having someone who is at best a bumbling representative of that. I don't know, it seems weird to me. Kaylin Costa sent in a super chat saying, John, what's the name of the book about terraforming Mars spending hundreds of years? So, the game is Terraforming Mars. The book series is, the first book is Red Mars, and then it's Green Mars, and then Blue Mars. That's the series of the 3 books. But thank you for asking. Alexander says, hello, a big fan from Norway. What do you think is the most likely scenario? A, Warren endorses Biden. B, she endorses Bernie. C, she endorses no one. I mean, if I have a pie chart, those things are always shifting. Every day they're shifting now. My gut is saying I think that more than 50% is taken up by endorse Biden, endorse no one. Maybe 60, maybe as high as 80% are those two things. I think that the odds now that she endorses Bernie seem low. Like, look, in terms of position, values, ideology, I still think it makes the most sense. But if she thinks that Biden is likely to win, she apparently is thinking more strategically than in the past in a way that we obviously would have a problem with. So she might endorse him or she might just sit it out. I mean, she sat out, you know, the vast majority of the 2016 race. So there's certainly a precedent for that. Don't depress me, Alexander. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for your super chat, though. Great Hat says, what's going on with McCain's husband? I mean, look, I'm not the source for that. This is literally like all of the gossip I've gotten on their show for a couple of weeks. But I will say he seems like a genuinely terrible person. And he seems to be working, you know, to support his wife, which I get that part. But he seems like a bad guy. Hold on. Oh, I have let myself fall way behind the comments. Callista says, just celebrating that I caught this live for once. Oh, thank you, Callista, for catching it live. By the way, if you are just seeing this for the first time, please hit the like button. Let me know. S187 says, hi, John. Do you think Andrew Yang is a snake? Have you seen the kind of commentary he's given on CNN? Seems like he's fooled a lot of his supporters. So, look, I don't watch much CNN or MSNBC, so I won't generally see that sort of thing. No, I'm not inclined to say that he's a snake. I don't agree with him on a number of things. But I don't, he's like, I'm gonna keep it real. For the most part of the commentary of his that I've seen, it is, I would say, very, what's the right word? Very obvious declarative sentences that don't really say, like he just sort of like says, like his tweets are like that too. He'll say, following Super Tuesday, Biden is in a better position, but lots can happen. It'll be something like that. It'll be like, well, yeah, that's so I definitely don't think that his commentary has been snaky. It's just been sort of like, well, yeah, that's fairly obvious. What I do think he brings is, you know, he was on the campaign trail up until just recently. So some of what he said about that, and he obviously still has contacts with the campaigns, that has been interesting. But in terms of like incisive political analysis, I don't think that's necessarily what he's bringing, nor do I think that's what he was put on to bring. Amanda says, for being the rock of the 2IT network, I love you, dude. Oh, thank you so much. That's very nice. You know, look, honestly, let's run with this rock thing because I'm still a bit salty that I haven't gotten a t-shirt, and maybe this will be the thing. Apparently the pie thing isn't going to happen as a t-shirt, but maybe the rock thing will. Maybe if this gets big enough, maybe the rock will talk to me online. That's all I want. I just want a conversation with the rock. That would be so good. I'm not going to go so far as to say like I want like a workout with the rock because that would be embarrassing, but I do want at least a conversation with the rock someday. That would be awesome. Joe D says, go, John. No, go you, Joe D. Thank you. Jeez, Joe D. Thank you. I feel like you have more than earned a topic, but thank you. Gabby Marita says, rock more like brick. Go away, Gabby. Gabby, more like fool's gold. Rocky Pie. That's true. Heart John. No, it's too late for that. What would you say to The Rock if you were in a conversation with him? I don't know. I think so. So I've had the luck and the privilege of meeting a number of celebrities, and I don't generally care very much. Like, I'm not the sort of person that generally wants to like take a picture with a celebrity or something like that, or even necessarily talk to them. Like, I like seeing them. That's cool, but I don't necessarily need to like get in there. I don't generally get starstruck, but there are a few people that I think would, and I think The Rock would probably be one of them. I mean, like, I have a lot of like admiration for him and for his work ethic. Politically we probably don't agree on much, but I've been, a fan of his since the '90s. The fact that he transitioned from being a wrestler into like one of the biggest movie stars in the world, which is not a thing that happened before, is pretty amazing. Yeah, he was great in Jumanji. Yeah, I don't know what I would talk to him about. Maybe I'd try to like feel him out and see what he thinks politically. I don't know, but what would you want The Rock to autograph on your bicep? Just his name. I'll take that, and I won't wash it. I rarely do. And yes, Janet, I was a fan of him. He appeared on Star Trek Voyager, I remember, to compete in the Sunkats matches. Yeah. Did I get the second book yet, Capital S? Oh no, I've read the whole trilogy. I recommend the whole trilogy. It is a big thing, like, to delve into, but I do think that it is worthwhile. Where is politics? Politics will be coming up on the full show, which actually I should run because it's coming up soon. But I will let you know, Tommy Vitor of the Pod Save Network is going to be on. We're going to be breaking down the big news, including, of course, the Elizabeth Warren news. We've got Donald Trump's medical advice. He's going to educate us all about coronavirus, so we've got that. We've got Ryan Grimm, who's going to join us, and we've got some news from around the world. And meanwhile, Melissa says, only starstruck for AOC. She's on the short list, too. Yes. I hear you. I hear you talking about me in the control room. Yes. Okay, I got to run, but I'll see you guys in just a few.